today we will discuss Project A5. For this Project A5, I was the coordinator, which meant I had to coordinate meeting times and Zoom times for this project. And yeah.
Hi, I'm Hayden Kowalchuk, and for Project 5, I just helped with basic setup of the GitHub, and then also just helping people out if they had questions, especially with kind of the initial setup for some of the code.
Hi, my name is Ping. In this assignment, my task is providing support to team, answering the questions of foundation of parallel programming and completing parallel programming of the drug design and DNA problems.
Hi, I'm Vera Agyiri, and for this project, I was assigned to combine all the reports together.
In Project A5, I mostly learned about the MapReduce model of the programming world, which is a way that developers with big sets of data use parallel-based algorithms to separate each specific set into clusters which relate to each other, and within those intermediate key value pairs, they can reduce functions to be associated with smaller intermediate keys, and that helps to manage big, large chunks of data. That's basically it. Yeah.
I was going to say, for me in this project, I think the one thing I learned was just the kind of comparison and how we can use either OpenMP or just the standard C11 thread model to kind of rewrite the same task in different ways, but then also to compare the times that those took and kind of the complexity of the code. That was my big takeaway from this project.
What I learned from this project is that a new programming model that is called MapReduce. It can help processing and generating big data sets with a parallel distributed algorithm on a cluster. And we should use it when we have like terabytes of data to deal with. For the programming part, I have learned how to use CPP11 threads implementation, which need me to create and manage my own threads. But it's faster than OpenMP implementation in some situations.
For Project A5, what I learned was the different ways to implement the parallel programming, which was through P-threads and the OpenMP. What I learned in there was that after running it, P-thread was way faster than OpenMP when I ran the time by using the time/P.
The main thing I learned was, the MapReduce model, which is going to help me in my career as a programmer. Eventually, I might, if I happen to work for a company that deals with big sets of data, having the knowledge of parallel-based algorithms that sort big terabytes of data into clusters through OpenMP. And
for me, I think the thing I learned was that just kind of to be a more well-rounded programmer and not always rely on having OpenMP, because you might work somewhere that they don't use that internally. They might instead prefer P-threads, the C++11 standard thread model. But then also just realizing that most businesses do have tons of data, whatever industry they might be in, even if they might not classify themselves as an information or technology business. Definitely they have tons of data as well. And just being able to work through that data and kind of find trends or collapse it into something more manageable, I think would be very helpful.
For me, I think what I learned from this project, especially the C++ 11 thread implementation, it allows me to specify how my threads work. I think it's very helpful to get familiar with more ways to realize parallel programming. Yeah.
To echo about what Ping and Hayden said, I totally agree. What I'm gonna use to apply to my future career or to further the education is that we learn like this some programs that run faster, and we need to know which one to use for it to run faster rather than just using the one that we are stick to. So that's why it's good to learn the different ones, like Hayden said, the OpenMP, C, C++, or thread. So we have to know which one we have to use so our program will run faster rather than wasting our time. The difficult part about this was when Hayden told us we had to download the program for it to compile, or else it won't compile. So that was a bit thrown off for me because I was just trying to just dive in and do it. So that was the most difficult part for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Vera. I was kind of the same way. I jumped in and then just immediately found out that I couldn't compile it, and this library was missing this other issue. And so eventually, it kind of led me down that rabbit hole where I found a fix and a precompiled library that we could all install that did work. But that kind of took an afternoon to kind of figure out and put that all together.
Yeah, really appreciate that Hayden found the proper library for everybody because we were all just stuck. The best thing that I found is that, we got all our team members helping each other out,
Definitely.
Yeah, it's also my best experience. As I failed to compile the program which import the TBB library. As soon as I failed, but I found that they didn't tell us we can fix it by downloading and installing the TBB library.
Proud of the team and proud of everybody involved. So
everybody brought their A game on.